Good morning. I know I look kind of crazy, but I want to make this video because I heard on the news something about somebody last name named Jacobs. I don't know, and I heard Democratic and I heard Republican and I heard news reporter. Perhaps I got to find the story, you guys, because I had a dream about 2 nights ago with this dude named last name Jacobs. And I was thinking it was representative of Jesus, and I'll tell you why. So, starting with the dream I had last night, I had a dream that it was the sun in another object that it seemed like for a couple days, I was watching it and I was expecting it to collide, and seemed like on the second day it collided with the sun. It was a rock object. And it's funny because last night or yesterday evening, about 6 o'clock, I was recording that little white moon thingy in that area where it's always lit up at night. And I'll upload it after I upload this video. And it was the only thing shining. So I guess it was cloudy and rainy. So I don't know. Maybe that's what's keeping our skies lit up, well past 10 o'clock at night in that particular area. So I don't know what that rock thing is, but it was a grayish rock thing. And somebody was with me and in the dream. And it did collide with the sun. And I just expected debris to come down. What that means, I don't know. Could something like that happen in real life? Obviously, I guess yes. But it seemed like an object that I knew that was always crossing the path of the sun. And it reminded me of this white moon thingy. I can kind of see it right now. 2 nights ago, I had a dream about Micheal Bolton. I was writing it down last night so that I can make a video about it today. So I had this dream that I was in this apartment complex, like they're kind of like duplexes almost. In my old, it's been years since I've lived there, over 20 years, 25 years or something like that. And Micheal Bolton was in town. He was doing a concert and he had some type of low budget, and they provided a little apartment. Like they rented, it was nighttime. Like his management crew provided this apartment for him to stay in somehow, like overnight while he was, getting ready to go do the concert or whatever. And it was understood that he wasn't going to be picky because he had children to feed. And he just had to do whatever he wanted to do. Now, in real life, I was watching a TV show, and it was this guy who, said he was going to do whatever he had to do to provide for his family. And also, that same day, something about Ariana Grande, that hoax. I hear today that the Queen is going to visit some of the wounded kids in the hospital. This thing is so staged. A Call for Uprising did a great exposed video on it. So, but that was all that I heard in real life. But for sure, it was Micheal Bolton. I used to listen to Micheal Bolton. I don't know. Maybe it's significant. I don't know. In the next scene, Shemar Moore. You guys, I had a dream about Shemar Moore and Hillary Clinton, like being backstage and kind of being like a Antichrist actor figure, getting ready to hit the stage or whatever. So anyway, in this dream, Shemar Moore was in the parking lot, a car parking lot thingy, and he had fell down, and somebody came to like massage his head, and somebody was standing next to me as I was watching it, and while he was on the ground getting his head massaged. But it was kind of understood that his head couldn't be massaged very much because he had some type of uh it was kind of like he had MK Ultra. It was kind of understood he had some type of mental, like MK Ultra mind control thingy where he couldn't have his head massaged too much. That was just a knowing in my dream. So he kind of was doing like this a little bit. He can take a little bit of it, but he couldn't take a lot of it because it would do something. It would exacerbate his MK Ultra mind control or something like that. Crazy. So in real life, I did, I had a client and he wanted his head massage. He's like, I like my feet down. I like my head massaged, and I did a little bit of his head, and I went up under his skull a little bit, and he kind of jerked a little bit, but it wasn't like, traumatizing or whatever. I hope not. But it reminded me of the dream that I had the night before. Oh, one more thing. I'm trying not to make this video too long. The same night, I had a dream that I think this was the most symbolic. I was pulling up to an intersection. In this intersection, if you go left, you're going on the highway. If you go right, it's like a back road to a shopping mall, shopping center, like outlet type center. It's like one of these back roads in my town here. And I pull up to the scene, and I see this guy kind of picking a fight with somebody. Like he was just being a bully. And when I had first pulled up to the scene, I gave somebody to my left dap. And then these people that were standing out on the grassy area, it was kind of like they were all there to kind of watch the fight. And they were looking at me like, she's a female, why is she doing here? And how does she know this guy on the left of her? Like, they totally didn't expect me. Kind of like a woman being at a car show, like a drag racing show. And they were looking at me like, how does she even know this dude? So I kind of almost felt comfortable that I knew this dude. So the people standing outside on the outside of my car wouldn't be like, well, what is she doing here? And how does she know this hood dude? So anyway, this guy was bullying somebody. And then I think it was David Jacobs. I know this guy in real life. His name is David Jacobs. Took the guy, the bully, and want to put a behind whooping on him. And what he did was he took a hammer and he cracked his skull. And the guy amazingly didn't, he was staggering and he was trying to get away. And then David Jacobs just dragged him like in front of my car almost to another area. And this guy was still walking somehow. And I saw him take the hammer and I saw him take his hammer as he was about to crack his head. And I had to turn away, but I heard it. And it was the most, some things give me the heebie-jeebies, you guys. I just knew this dude couldn't survive like I know his skull was cracked, and I heard it. And somehow this guy was still walking. So in real life, I was using a tool, and when it clicked, I was using two warm seashells. They're smoothed out seashells, and sometimes they click together, and that's something that you just don't want to do while you're doing a service, just because it's kind of noisy. So anyway, I always try to avoid that. And in real life, also, um, like I said today, I heard a news story about a guy named last name Jacobs. And also that same day, might have been yesterday, day before yesterday, I don't remember. Um, I heard a song that there's a song called "Victory Belongs to Jesus." Because when I heard these two names together, I just thought it was representative of Jacob. I mean, of Jesus. And also, I looked up the next morning Golgotha, Calvary, uh, means skull. Golgotha slash Mount Calvary means skull. And I think there's a verse that says Jesus will bruise the head of the serpent. And I want to say I heard a teaching that when Jesus was on Calvary, he defeated the enemy, and that was kind of symbolic of that verse or something like that. Also, in Golgotha, that was where people got their heads cut off. It was the Valley of Skulls, I believe it was. Skulls were buried there. I think somebody's skull, Adam, the first Adam, is rumored to be buried, have been found there. Also, when people were being taken there, it would be a whole like crowd of people. It was kind of like an outside of the city limits type thing where you would go and, and kind of like when they were crucifying Jesus, everybody kind of like followed and went up to Calvary to watch, you know what I mean? So, this was kind of outside in real life. This is kind of outside of my city limits, not outside of my city limits, but it would take you, either to the highway or a way that I typically is really out of my way. Not really, but it is. So I don't know, you guys. If I get any more revelation, I'll let you guys know. I see I'm missing out a dream. There was a dream that I had that I really didn't like, you guys, because some of my dreams be symbolic and then some things be happening in real life. And this had to do with my son in some type of car accident. So I had to really pray about that one. That really bothered me. I haven't really been having any open visions. I think I have. As it relates to my last open vision, when I told you guys about the eye, after I made that video, my neighbor's cat came and one of her eyes is has like a cataracts or something. It's really hard for me to look at. So that was one more thing as it relates to the ugly eyes. It was really hard to look at, just like that goat. And I think I didn't leave the video below for the goat. It was from Pockets of the Future. It was only like a minute and a half. Okay, you guys? I think that's it. God bless y'all. I'm trying to write stuff down. I did have, you know what? I did have a vision, you guys. It seemed like a rhomboid looking shape in the sky. It just kind of like appeared out of nowhere. And when Paul Begley made that video capturing Air Force One, kind of hidden in Israel, it kind of reminded me of the shape of it. It was kind of like a rhomboidish shape. That's it. I don't know if that was a fulfillment of it. his caption was like something like Air Force One is hidden, but we see it, or something like that. And that vision I had was a good 5, 6, 7 days ago. Okay, you guys. But it was like a rhomboid shape. It kind of looked like a plane at a particular angle in the air. I had seen something else before Paul Begley put that video out. All right, God bless y'all. This is 15 minutes. I will talk with you later. If you have any comments, leave them below.